President Trump just came out with yet another announcement. Matter of fact, he just said that there was a meeting with China. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very big deal because, well, is it true? Are they really coming to some sort of conclusion? I mean, President Trump just said yesterday that they are talking to China every day. But then China quickly afterwards said that China and US have never held any trade discussions. Well, this time around, I should say. All such reports are fake. So China just effectively denied any claims of a trade deal in the making. But then again, Trump just stated again that there's just been a meeting with them. And I kind of wonder, how far into negotiations are they? Is China speaking the truth? Is Trump speaking the truth? Are they both lying, or are they both right in some strange way, shape, or form? Regardless, the Nasdaq has risen 100 points to a new high of the day, which is up 2% or so, which came after the market going up 1% with nothing going on at all. Anyway, still talking about Trump. One quite interesting point is that there's a new hat that's being sold, the Trump 2028 hat. And I do wonder, he was talking earlier about a third run. I do wonder if they want to try and change something of the sort to get another run in. I kind of feel as if out of all those presidents, Trump would Trump be one of the ones to get this done, or at least try to. Very interesting to just think about the fact that things could really, really change under Trump. Anyway, today marks the 15th day of the President Trump 90-day reciprocal tariffs, and this means the pause is now 17% complete without a single trade deal announced yet. The market, as at this point, is still waiting for any one deal, but apparently President Trump says he says that things are going to start going crazy soon, but, well, we've yet to see it. Anyway, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video. I mean, I've just done a $200 giveaway earlier today. All right, I announced the winners earlier today, and we'll be doing many more giveaways of that sort. All you got to do always is press that like button and comment something down below. That's how you enter. That's it. And if you win, you've got to have a Pionex account, of which the link is down below in the description. Anybody can sign up. Link is down there. We'll talk about it a bit later in the video, but make sure you sign up with the link down below. You also get yourself some juicy bonuses. And also remember, tomorrow we've got ourselves the SEC heading over and giving a nice little speech. Or more specifically, we've got the head of the SEC, the new SEC, Mr. Atkins, giving his first public address in his new role. And we're not 100% sure what he's going to talk about or how crazy he's going to get, but hey. I was trying to say, though, for XRP, we've got ourselves some very bullish news that just came out. While overdue in a bunch of ways, this is an incredibly important and exciting step in the continued growth of the XRP market. And what we were referring to there was that apparently starting May 19th, trade regulated capital efficient futures on XRP available on larger and micro-sized contracts so you can scale your exposure, 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. All you got to know is that XRP futures will become available on CME, which obviously is just, I would say these announcements are as big as ETF announcements, really. They just allow for such a wider public to start trading these assets. And I mean, right now, my trading platform of choice is over on Pionex with these bots. Again, if you're wondering, I opened a Solana bot earlier today in a video. Right now, we put $3,000 into the bot. We're up $70 or so in one day. Bitcoin, we opened, 2 days ago or so? We're up $500 on that. And XRP, we also opened 2 days ago. We're up $550 on that bot. I also tomorrow will probably open up either a Ethereum or a SUI bot, depending on which one you guys want to see. If you have a specific bot you'd also like me to open so you guys can easily copy along, just let me know down below. But yeah, like I said, these are all copyable. You can just literally copy exactly what I'm doing. You can change the settings if you want to, but this is exactly how I have set them up because I think they will work best this way. If you're setting them up, all you got to do is press the link down below. Actually, matter of fact, I'll just quickly tell you. The link down below this here is just to trade on the exchange itself, right? That's the sign up link. Use that link so you can get yourself the bonuses and to follow these bots. If you do not use the first link to sign up, you're not going to be able to get yourself the bonus, which is right here, the second link. I just recommend you to do it in order. You don't have to, it just makes things easier. Make sure you get yourself the bonus and then follow the bots by pressing one of these links. There's also now a Solana link down there. It'll look like this. All you got to do is press copy the bot, and let me just go on. I've changed some things. First of all, I removed some of the extra margin from my XRP, nothing in the Solana, and I've removed also from the Bitcoin bot. Basically, the reason I removed some of the margin is because I realized it's already so low, right? $1.46 or so per XRP. I'm going to have enough time to buy or actually to add more margin as prices go down lower, because the probability of going from $2.20 to $1.40 in one day is very, very small. If that's what wrecks me, so be it, because I've got so many long positions open here. We've got the small one on the new account up roughly $300 or so, about 60% since we opened it a few days ago. Still hoping for XRP to continue on with the growth. Right now, as it currently stands, though, we are most likely going to close above the most important level, though. Just to make it a bit more clear, we've basically seen XRP spiral downwards for a long time. We were just unfortunately not able to break above $2.25, but we attempted it, broke down, got ourselves a nice little pullback of sorts, right back to about $2.11, retested the trend line, and right now we're rising right back up. And even though we have yet to break again through 225, we have ourselves a very, very beautiful setup. But more importantly, it's a bullish one, right? There's actually a couple situations in which this is negative on the very short term. But even then, I still believe that if Bitcoin pushes through here, which it usually does after gold spikes, Bitcoin usually spikes after, which it's doing right now, that we just get a massive spike in alts. And I also believe that this could be the moment still, regardless of it all. Bitcoin, by the way, still as it currently stands, is facing its most important resistance. If you look through the last couple of weeks, right, this is the weekly chart for Bitcoin, you can see the most interesting level that we are facing. It's at roughly $95,000 or so. Once we cross this, it is mostly free sailing back to the all-time highs, back to about $104,000 or so, which is specifically why I opened the XRP and Bitcoin bot there. Some of the best risk rewards that I think is out there. And then Solana, I mostly just opened because there was a lot of demand for it. There was two that a lot of people were asking for, Solana and 𝗬𝘁. But I noticed a very good position in Solana, so I opened it up as well. And if we see a very, very good price for 𝗬𝘁, or we could think of a very good price range to trade in, I'll also open one up. It could be tomorrow somewhere though, because 𝗬𝘁 has already been going absolutely astronomical, right? So over the past few weeks here, it's broken from its downtrend, which it had from the start of the year. Let's just quickly showcase it here. It basically had a massive downtrend ongoing. You can clearly see it right here. And it broke through just a few days ago, like 4 days ago or so, and has been going on an absolute rampage in the meantime. Let me quickly just pinpoint it slightly better. If we just put this right there, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Yeah, so since it broke out, it's actually up roughly what? 62% or so in 4 days. So if we had set this bot up a bit earlier, it would have been juicy. But right now, obviously, what are you going to put your range at? Or rather, where is a comfortable spot to get this started? It would have been way nicer to get in at roughly $2.70, something along those lines, like maybe around this resistance, $2.80. Right now at $3.30, even though it's still relative to previous prices, right? Because we went to $5.50. It's still quite cheap. I want to keep everything as low risk as possible for people to not get wrecked. But again, if demand is high, we'll get it done. On the short term, though, I'm telling you right now, this is kind of like what we saw for XRP back in November, just a massive push upwards that cannot really be stopped. You can see in the midst, the worst of a correction that we saw, the worst of a pullback was roughly 6% or so. But that's basically after multiple of these plus 10% daily candles, or actually 4-hourly candles or so. You see the craziness that is seen in terms of price gain. There's not really been any sort of pullback whatsoever. And this, again, for 𝗬𝘁 is a very scary point to get in on it. Just because the impulse has been so strong, up 60% in just 4 days without any proper pullback. And very often with 𝗬𝘁, it goes up hard, but also comes back down very, very hard. And so I'm a bit worried on that. Just look at the previous moves, right? So for example, here, it went up roughly 40% or so in 4 days, and then came right back down 25% in 3 days. Let's see here. It went up, let's just call it 50% in 6 days, and it went down what? 30% or so in 4 days. It went up what? 30% in a week, and then it went back down what? Let's just say again, right here, 20% or so in 4 days. 𝗬𝘁 is a very, very volatile crypto. And I'm not saying I would be shorting it right here. I'm just saying that the leg upwards has been so strong. What we want to see now, for example, is a slow but sure descent before potentially yet another massive impulse. But if it's only up, it's just hard to get into position now if you did not take it earlier. And if you did not take, for example, the squeeze when it happened right there. Whereas with XRP, though, we've got way better setups to just take easy trades, just easy sailing, easy going. And similarly with Bitcoin, it's just a very easy and solid position. Having said that, they all still belong in my basket of goods or basket of coins I'm permanently bullish on. I think one to add is 𝗕𝗓. Another one to add is Ethereum. Ethereum has been a joke of a coin, but realistically, over a longer period of time, even though it can act as XRP did throughout the years, it will probably still go up, right? I'm still quite convinced on that, even though it's been shitty for about a year or two now. Interesting. But no, even XLM, and I'm thinking I should just add bots for all these so people can copy along, even though, for example, a SUI bot might be higher risk. It's also extremely profitable over time. If we put the range wide enough and we add a bit more margin, it could just work flawlessly because the more volatility it has, the more profitable it also is, right? So I'm just going to wait for some feedback. Let me know down below which coins you'd like to see some bot setups for, and I'll get that done. If not, if you don't care for it, just realize that the most important news that is currently ongoing is all China, China, China. And if you're wondering what the situation with that is just what is really going on with China and the US in terms of trade talks. Can they really get something going? Whenever Trump's talking about this 90-day tariff pause, are any trade deals coming in, or is it all just blabbermouth? It's a really interesting one because, again, Trump said, now we're talking. And then China says, well, they're open to talking, but they're not just quite yet. It's an interesting situation. Very, very interesting one. Anyway, bullish for XRP today. Yep. It's been really nice. I think the price might have pumped a little bit because of it. Interesting tomorrow, the SEC. Make sure you watch out for that. And I think that's about it in terms of all the crypto news. Make sure you press that like button if you didn't do it yet. If you want to know if you've won the $200 giveaway, go back to my previous video talking about making millions with crypto. Just check it out. Look at that. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video somewhere, probably later today or tomorrow.